Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week number 6 and 7. You will note that on the screen you've got the chapter 14 lesson overview. It is about bonds. Well, it's about debt, but the main instrument you'll be using to learn about debt will be bonds. And related to bonds will be something called time value of money. That's in the appendix. Make sure you spend plenty of time on the time value of money because it is a topic that goes beyond our work here in accounting. It goes in actually there are concepts there that will really help you personally when you deal with car loans and maybe mortgages, and so you need to really pay attention to what this is, because it will be a very pervasive concept along your life, in my opinion. In any case, for this week, we'll be covering again chapter 14. There are 2 weeks assigned to this chapter because it is a challenging and very dense chapter, so I think it deserves 2 weeks. The normal approach that we use always for our work is just simply extended for 2 weeks. In the first week, we'll be doing, the usual coverage, mostly reading, and you'll be doing submitting your reading check at the end of the week by Sunday, as opposed to usually our Wednesdays. Then we'll be covering the homework in more detail, in more depth in the second week, in week number 7, and then you'll be submitting the homework 7 in my accounting lab. As you see on the slide, we have 8 chapters. 8 learning objectives, and I wanted to make sure that you sort of realize that the meat of the first week will be the first 5 LOs. So you'll be learning how to journalize long-term notes payable, mortgages, and then you get into the life cycle of a bond, which, the description of the bonds. You learn how to issue, how to deal with interest, how to amortize the discount and premium. You'll learn about those things when you read the book, and then how to retire the bond. Eventually, in week number 2, you'll be using most of that week to learn about time value of money, and about coming back to these same transactions here, but now using what we call the effective interest method, which is more realistic than the initial pass where you'll be using something called the straight line method. So that's sort of the overall plan for the next couple of weeks. A little more detail for each of these topics. You see them here, and I will not go into too much detail. It's most useful for you to refer to the book, chapter 14. But I will say, for example, that under the LO2, which deals with bonds, you will be learning again how to do the basic journalizing for bonds that are issued at face, bonds that are issued at a discount, and bonds that are issued at a premium. So you have 3 scenarios you have to deal with, and in each of those scenarios, you'll be doing an issue of the bond. When you say issue, you mean you're selling bonds to a bond investor, and so you're going to be accounting for the transactions from the issuer's perspective, in other words, from the borrowers. So you'll be accounting for the issues under 3 scenarios. Then you'll be accounting for interest and the related. I guess I could go here. Actually, so it looks a little better. You could be doing the journals for the issues, the interest, and then also for the amortization of the discount or premium. And finally, at the end, you're going to be retiring the bonds, either at maturity or it's going to be done before the bonds mature. So this is basically the essence of your first week. But as I said before, you'll come back to this in the second week, and instead of using the straight line method to amortize your bonds, you're going to be using the effective interest method. The other topics that are also part of chapter 14 are LO5, which is reporting liabilities on your balance sheet. You should know this. And less important for us at this point is to worry about LO6. The ones I wanted to really focus on are these appendices at the end of the book. But this will be done in the second week. And the last slide here sort of tells you the same thing I told you initially. It is a challenging chapter. We're using 2 weeks for a reason. Please do not cram your whole work to the second week, which I've seen before from other students. And then in terms of the breakout of the topics, week 6, again, LO1 through LO5, reading check 14 by Sunday, and then the appendices and the return to the bond transactions using the effective interest method in week number 2, and also on Sunday you have the homework due, homework 14. In this case, I will not be showing you the module that goes along with this. You can go there on your own, either through the campus site, or you can click on this if you are looking at it. If you look at the presentation itself, not the movie, not the video, and you get to this module, which looks the same as before. Remember that you have lecture notes, you have answer keys, you have also discussion threads. I have a lot of threads this time because there's a lot of work that you could do. And you'll be doing at least one posting in any of these threads each week. Either, at least 1 week, one posting minimum, hopefully a lot more, in week number 6. And then again, second one in week number 7. And again, it will be any of these here. Finally, again, here the links to the RC14 and homework 14. Any questions about that is not part of the content, you can always either inbox me or go to the virtual office hours thread under the week 0 module. Take care. Enjoy the week.